Our back door that we installed a doggy door was kind of boring, but I knew there was an inexpensive way to make it look a lot better without having to get a new door. First thing I did is to go ahead and mark what we're going to do on the top and bottom of the door. I'm going to go with 6 inches on it, but we need to make sure we put some tape down because this type of plywood will splinter. Look at how sharp those edges are. No splinters or sanding required. Then I trimmed it to the width of the door, and it's time to put some glue on. A lot of people think that you can just use nails, but you can't. Next, I took a foam brush and I went ahead and just spread the glue. And we're going to go ahead and use some really small 1-inch brad nails to hold it in place. Next, we had to go on the bottom, but we had to go around the doggy door. Wanted to make sure that we got it all covered. Next, we got to take the doorknobs off because we've got to put our trim around the sides. Now, 6 inches along the top, that was the width, but on the sides, we're going to go a little bit smaller with 4-inch. Now it's time to cut out where the doorknobs were. Again, we got to use tape. I just went ahead and used my jigsaw and cut out a hole. And if you need to go ahead and sand it to make it a little bit smooth, go right ahead. Now we got to cover up the seams and the nail holes. I went ahead and used some DAP, plastic wood. It goes on pink, but when it dries, it comes the color of the wood. It dries pretty quick and just rub it off. Once it dries, go ahead and just sand it down, make it look really good. And next, it's time for paint. I went ahead and used a primer and paint in one. I wanted to get some good coverage. You're going to paint the whole door. So you're just going to paint everything. I used a little foam brush, but here we go. Let's put those doorknobs back on. And do you remember that old door that we had? Look at that. Now, with the trim, how beautiful is that? I only spent about $12 transforming this door. Didn't have to go out and spend $100 to make it look good.
We have an old hollow core door that needs a makeover. I wanted something simple and modern. First, I removed the door by placing a scrap wood underneath for support and unscrewing the hinges one by one. Make sure to have someone to hold the door when removing the last hinge to prevent it from tipping over. Once off, I marked the top and front for easy identification. Next, I removed the hinges completely and cleaned both sides with the degreaser. Then I lightly sanded the surface along the grain and wiped off the dust. Now for the fun part. I used these wooden slats meant for wrapping around poles. This piece is 12 inches wide and 8 feet long. I measured, cut the wrap to match the door's height and glued it to the front with construction adhesive, keeping a 4-inch gap from the hinge side. To secure it, I also pin-nailed it in place. Once set, I applied 1 coat of primer, first using a brush for the grooves, then a roller for the surface. For the final color, I chose this beautiful pastel green in satin finish. Same as primer, I used a brush to paint the grooves and then used a foam roller for the rest. I had to apply 3 even coats. I repeated the same steps on the other side of the door and the door frame. Once dry, I installed new hinges and propped the door back up with scrap wood before screwing it into place. Finally, I installed this chrome doorknob. And that's it! A simple upgrade turned an old door into a modern statement piece with just one material and a fresh coat of paint.
I had this nice but not terribly modern or exciting door. It was originally white, and I thought painting it black would have a big impact, but it didn't really. I saw this 1/8 inch hardboard at Home Depot and had an idea. I purchased 2 of the 4x8 panels. I cut the board into strips that were uniform in width. I played around laying these out onto the door to find a pattern that I liked. I liked this angled pattern. I felt like the most difficult part of my door design was going to be properly working with the door handle. I didn't want to end up with half a board where the doorknob needed to go. I positioned the board and then used a Sharpie to draw where my door handle would go. I made sure this lined up with the existing doorknob hole in the door. Once I had this marked, I cut it out using a multi-tool. This thing really works great when you need to make a cut in the center of a piece like I needed to do here. Then I secured the doorknob piece in place. That set the angle for the rest of my pieces, and I used construction adhesive to secure those in place. I also went back with a small pin nailer to further secure them, But really, the construction adhesive may have been enough. I just wanted to be sure. I allowed the adhesive to dry overnight. The next morning, using a little handheld saw, I cut around the door, getting rid of the overhanging pieces. I cut right along the door edge so that my boards wouldn't interfere with the proper functioning of the door at all. There were some spots that were a little rough from where they were cut with the saw, and so I gave a little light sanding over these areas just to make sure that the hardboard was smooth. My next step was painting. The paint color I used was called Urbane Bronze by Sherwin-Williams. It's kind of like a dark charcoal gray, and I've used it throughout this condo renovation that I'm working on. After my first coat of paint, I stood the door up, painted a second coat, and let it dry. Once the paint was dry, I added a new modern handle to go with the look of my new modern door. The new handle cost me $22 and fit into place perfectly. You won't believe how $3 and $20 took this common 1980s eyesore and turned it into a modern-day beauty. I had this old mirrored closet door with a gold frame, which just wasn't working for me. So I removed the door and took it outside. I cleaned the mirrored surface several times. I sprayed a black spray paint primer and paint all-in-one along the outside of the door to cover up the gold sections. I had previously tried taping the borders before painting and then removing the tape, but it took a long time and I mistakenly got some paint on the surface anyways. That's when I noticed I could scrape the paint easily from the surface when I used the glass cleaner. So, making that mistake actually helped me because I realized that I could just spray the black paint all around the door without worrying about overspray. My next step was to use tape to divide my surface into sections. The mirrored surface on my door was 78 inches from top to bottom. That means that I could easily divide it into 13-inch sections. I taped my first piece of tape at the 13-inch mark. For the next piece of tape, I had to make sure that the top of the tape was at the 26-inch mark, not the bottom. I point this out because if you put the bottom of the tape at the 26-inch mark, it would actually mess up the size of your finished squares. Since I was using a spray, there was going to be overspray that was going to go past the strips of paint. So I used this tape with an attached piece of like plasticky tarp kind of stuff to help get better coverage in the area. The product I used was a frosted paint spray, and I sprayed on a light coat at first and let that dry. I then added a second coat, and after waiting and giving time for that to dry, I added a third. The best part was, of course, peeling off the tape when it was done. The lines were crisp, and I felt like the door looked a lot more modern. I love the way the door looks in the room. I have 6 other mirrored closet doors in this condo, and I can't wait to get those completed and installed too. If you'd like to view the other DIY projects from this room transformation, please follow me on Home Talk and you can view them all. I hope this inspired you to update your old mirrored doors. Thanks for watching Home Talk and see you next time.